It's about accepting where I am at the moment and not trying to conform myself and pretend I'm something that I'm not. Trying to fit into a mold where it's got to be this way and it's got to be that way and I got to walk this way and I got to walk that way just to fit in. Just to fit into this system, this religious system. That's all that's being said. But I want to talk to you guys tonight. And before I start talking, I want to say something to you. We've been talking about how we're losing our religion. But can I say this? That you can lose something and get it back.
Come on.
Is there anyone who's ever lost a man and for whatever reason got him back? Have you ever lost some weight? Lost some weight. And then 2 months, 3 months later, it's back. How did it get back? I'm going to tell you how it got back. I lost the weight, and I said, well, I can have an extra piece of cake. I done lost 15 pounds. But the problem is I said that 15 days in a row. And that's where the weight comes back. So I don't want anyone to go out of this conference, this summit, and think just because you lost something this weekend, it may not have the tendency to come back. Because it's waiting out there. It's waiting. It's doing push-ups. Waiting on you to come on back. Come on back. The devil's like, yeah, okay, I hear you. I hear you talking about losing your religion. Well, I got something for you. So I'm not trying to dampen anybody's spirits. I just have to tell you the truth. The Bible talks about it in Matthew. Remember? Well, no, we're going to read it. We're going to read it. I want to make sure we know what we're doing. Turn to Matthew chapter 12. And this isn't the main subject, but God gave it to me right before we started tonight. And I feel that it has to be said. And when you go on to verse 43. Yes, sir. And somebody say, it can come back. It can come back. Nobody's that super spiritual that it can't come back. Get out there and get loose. Get out there and get some power. And there's a tendency that it could come back. Matthew 12, verse 43 says, when the unclean spirit is gone out of a man, he walketh through dry places, seeking rest, and findeth none. He being the unclean spirit. And then it says, then he, the unclean spirit, saith, I will return into my house from whence I came out. And when he, the unclean spirit, is come, he findeth it empty, swept, and garnished. So all I want to just say off the top is, don't leave your house just swept, clean, and just garnished. Put some furniture in your house when you leave this conference. Study. Put something in the empty house. Because if we're not careful, we can just think it's gone, and we're all right. We're okay. I got it now. But you got to put furniture in the house. I need some place to sleep. I need some place to study. I need a place to hang my clothes. You need to put something in the house. Not just walk out, just empty. Oh, everything's wonderful. Because the unclean spirit's waiting. And we're going to come back, and it goes on to say, comes back with what? Thank you. So we just want to say that off the top. Is that all right? Did that dampen anybody's spirit? No. We just want to be honest with you. We just want to be truthful. Amen. Don't worry, the rest of the sermon is going to be better. I promise you. I promise you. You know, as a writer, I like titles. I think titles can really do something with a story or whatever it is. So I want to give you the title of this sermon, the title. And the title is, and just hold it, when you go out and go back to wherever you go back to, and there's a threat of this unclean spirit coming back, someone trying to control or dominate, manipulate, whatever it is, I want you to say to them, the price has been paid. Yes, sir. say a price has been paid. I want to say the price has been paid. Everybody say the price.
The price
has been paid.
Has been paid.
All right.
Well, I was looking at the logo for my wife's conference, her vision, saw the hands chained up, and I was thinking about what did that mean, the bondage and shackles and all of those different things. But one day I was sitting in a spiritual or religious environment, and this word came to me out of the blue, and the word was kidnapping.
Wow.
The word was kidnapping. And that's the theme of what we're going to talk about. Kidnapping and kidnappers.
All right.
Kidnapping and kidnappers. Keeping in mind, though, that the price has been paid. When we talk about kidnapping, in Georgia, you probably don't know this because you're nice, upstanding folks, that kidnapping is a level 7 crime. It's a level 7 crime on a scale that only goes up 7. Kidnapping is right in the category with rape, murder, the worst criminal offenses. Kidnapping is right there with it. And I was thinking about that because it doesn't seem like kidnapping should be in that same category. But if we think about what's done in a kidnapping, we can probably easily surmise that maybe it belongs there. Kidnapping is when someone forcibly takes you to another location and holds you captive for ransom. They want someone to pay for your release. Now that's a very calculated, violent act. To take you from your place of safety, drag you to where they got to drag you to, bound you up so you can't escape, and then call your loved ones and say, if you want her back, pay me. That's a cold, calculated crime, usually done by a cold, calculated person. A person who usually thinks they're smarter than everybody else. They usually think, I've got all the angles covered. Now, you don't hear about kidnapping so much anymore, but there was a time when kidnapping was big, until the FBI got involved and got pretty good at stopping that type of thing. But in years gone by, kidnapping was a way to make a big score. You don't kidnap someone and ask for $100. You don't take somebody hostage and ask, for an EBT card. You kidnap somebody for big money, $500,000. That's what I want for your release. It's a big score. It's usually a one and done. It's all or nothing. And it's usually done by desperate people. Desperate people kidnap. And as I was sitting in my spiritual environment, I was looking around at some of the faces and looking at some of the behaviors. And I said, these are some desperate folks. Because now they've resorted to kidnapping the ministry.
Wow.
They've resorted not just to kidnapping the people, they want to kidnap the whole ministry.
Yes.
Kidnap the church for their own devices. Take control and hold the ministries hostage.
Yes. Reach up and yell.
And I'm watching this stuff just play itself out, and it's blowing my mind. Because Pastor David Bing says he hates prostitution. You know what I hate? I hate religious bullying. I hate religious bullying. I hate the idea that sister such and such over here has got such a captive hold on the ministry that sister such and such over here won't even clap her hands unless sister such and such is doing it. And sister such and such don't say amen, she don't say amen. Holding the ministry captive, holding people hostage. And they usually do it, Minister Teresa, with Christianity. Knowing the word. Battering people over the head with the word. Using fancy words like discernment. We gotta learn about discernment. So I can identify the spirits. They sound deep. Very deep. But holding folks captive. But if I have the kind of personality that I'm more of a follower than a leader, there's nothing wrong with that. But I can be susceptible to this influence of someone who's using what's supposed to be for good, but controlling me in the process. And this is what I'm seeing, saints of God. And it troubles me to no end. It troubles me a lot. So I'm watching these kidnappers. I'm watching what they're doing. I'm watching them take hostages in the spirit. I'm seeing them taking hostages in the church.
Right.
Taking leaders and ministers hostage with their behavior. When a minister wants to do something, they'll sabotage it.
Right.
They'll hold the ministry captive by not supporting it. By supporting the vision of the leaders. Holding the ministry captive.
Lord,
Well, I won't support it. That'll hold them back.
God.
Until they recognize me.
Wow.
Until they recognize my fantastic ideas.
Wow.
Until they see me in my rightful place as associate or whatever they want to see themselves as. I'm watching them take control of people's lives, or at least make the attempt to. And it's troubling me.
Jesus.
But what scares me even more about this is the reaction of the kidnapped.
My. Free.
Because there's kidnappers, and then there's the kidnapped. In 1973, and some of the more seasoned of us will remember, there was a bank robbery in the city of Stockholm, Sweden. They took hostages for 6 days in a bank vault. When the siege ended, they released the hostages, and a funny thing seemed to happen. The hostages were caught on tape kissing their captors. They were caught on tape hugging on the very people that put guns to their head not 6 days earlier. They were loving on the very people that interrupted their daily walk of life, threatened to murder them, and they hugged them. They kissed them. They set up funds for their lawyers. And I am submitting to us as saints of God that some of that is going on right now. And I want to ask, is anybody kissing their captors?
Oh, Lord.
Has someone been dominating, or at least trying to dominate you or me? And we've gotten so enthralled with their beautiful speech and their excellent demeanor. But they really have an agenda holding you hostage. But I'm loving on them like they're just so wonderful. We got to break out of that. I'm submitting that we're in some kind of weird Stockholm syndrome in the church. Where we're loving on people who are holding us hostage.
Oh, my God.
We're exalting them instead of exalting the people that are worthy of our respect and honor. And I want to say I honor the woman of God, Co-P, Patricia Womack. I just want to say, I meant to say it earlier, but I love that woman. She's not my first lady. No, but she's the first lady, and she's my friend, and I honor her. But getting back to the topic. I'm concerned that we're loving on our captors.
I'm not holding him.
No, you are not. No, you are not. No, you are not. Can I read you just some symptoms of the spiritual Stockholm syndrome?
Oh, my
And can I also say that the Stockholm syndrome also has its basis in battered spouse syndrome.
Amen.
And we all know that abuse is not just physical. It's verbal, it's sexual, it's emotional, and the two are linked. This syndrome of captivity is connected in that you've all seen primarily women who are battered. And for whatever reason, they're battered for many, many years. And you see it, and you point it out to them, and you say, why don't you just leave that man? Thank you. And they'll usually say, but I love him. And deep down, I know that he loves me too.
Wow.
They abuse the spouse for 6 days. And on the 7th day, bring flowers. Baby, I didn't mean it. You know me. You know I love you. See, I could act that thing if I wanted to, but I'm not going to. But that's what battered spouses endure. They're beat down 6 days out of the week. And then the batterer comes home with flowers and says, baby, you know I didn't mean it. We have people in our churches that beat us down throughout the weeks and the months with their little slide comments and commentary and veiled insults, and then come and show us small kindnesses. Small kindnesses. See, that's a symbol. The batterer shows only small kindnesses. He can only show small kindnesses. And that's what we're seeing. Let me read this. It says, who is a candidate for Stockholm Syndrome or battered spouse syndrome? It says abused children, battered and abused women, prisoners of war, cult members, incest victims, criminal hostage situations, or controlling or intimidating relationships. Controlling or intimidating relationships. People who seek to control and intimidate. Because there are people in the church trying to control you and me and trying to intimidate us with knowledge of the Bible. By being deep.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
I'm so sick of that picture. I see that picture on Facebook often. Oh my God. Don't call no names. But it says the characteristics of this person is that the person has positive feelings by the victim toward the abuser or controller. The person that's beaten or abused has positive feelings toward them. They have negative feelings by the victim towards their family, friends, or authority trying to rescue or support them. In other words, they will defend the batterer. They will defend the batterer and get mad at you for trying to really get them delivered from that situation. It says they have the support of the abuser's reasons and behavior. They know why they're doing it. Well, they're just going through a tough time. He got laid off at his job. That's why he's the way that he is. Well, they're having a rough time in their family. That's why they're coming to church the way that they are. They've been serving in the ministry for 25 years. They've seen a whole lot. That's why they act the way that they do. They're just old school. I like to use that term. I just happen to be looking at you. I just happen to be looking at you. It says they have positive feelings by the abuser towards the victims. It says they have supportive behaviors by the victim, at times helping the abuser. There's a study that had that children who are being beaten at home by one parent will not seek the affection of the parent that's not beating them. They will seek the affection of the person that is beating them. Because what they think is, if I friend up to you, you will stop beating me. And this is what we do sometimes in church. If I see what's perceived as a more powerful entity, I want to suddenly friend up to them because they can take me places. They won't insult me behind my back. They won't call me names and all this kind of stuff. I friend up to them because I don't want their abuse anymore. And then it says they have an inability to engage in behaviors that may assist in their release or detachment. They can't get away. They don't know how to. And that's the scary part. Part of them even wants to get away, but they don't know how. They don't know what it looks like to be released. Some people don't know what deliverance looks like. Wow. Because deliverance is an unknown.
Yes.
It's an unknown. It's more familiar to me to just stay around. It's just more familiar to me to just stay and have the same attitude that I've always had. Because it's known. It's good to know the devil I know versus the devil I don't know. That's the rationale that we say. But we want to be delivered so bad. But it's such an unknown thing, we're scared to death of it. We don't know what it looks like. And this are some of the characteristics of people I think that are in our churches right now. And I wanted to speak to you guys about this because I don't know where everybody is. I know that I have suffered it. And maybe that's why I can identify it.
Yeah.
Because sometimes the expression is, sometimes the good is the enemy of the great. And we can be distracted by what's good. And distracted from what's great. Ask Hagar and Sarah. Abraham and Sarah. They were distracted by something that was good. Go into my maid. Go lay with her. We'll have this promise. Now it was good, but it wasn't great. And people seek to distract us with what's good, instead of us taking charge of ourselves and pursuing what is great.
Yes, sir.
The prophet told me last night, Thursday, and it's something actually I already knew. She said, you're not going to have many friends. But you know what? I've never had many friends.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that lightly. I've grown up and never had many friends. So I'm a little used to not having many friends. And I only seemed to get in trouble when I was pursuing people to make them my friends. I only seemed to get in trouble when I wasn't my authentic self. And wasn't all right with you disliking me. But sometimes, saints of God, we got to be okay with somebody not liking you. That's just the way it is. It's the way it is. And I would rather, I think, at this point in my life, be okay by myself than risk selling my soul and my body to you just for you to speak well of me. I will not be abused anymore. I will not be abused anymore. Or someone dare say, I will not be abused anymore.
Jesus.
What?
Turn please to Matthew 20.
Sir, yes, sir.
I think I forgot the theme. Matthew 20 and 28. The theme is, the price has been paid. In Matthew 20 and 28, says,